This evening, we have two talks in the pipeline. The first is by a combined presentation by Rosie Trevelyan and Anthony Kuria from the Tropical Biology Association. And Rosie and Kuria will be talking about the Tropical Biology Association's training for African citizen science managers. So we really look forward to hearing all about that. So I'd like to invite Rosie to present conservation through training on behalf of herself and Kuria. Rosie, over to you.
Thank you. So I think we probably all share a desire to do conservation, and I'm going to share how the Tropical Biology Association approaches it, and it's entirely through training. And as we all know, the majority of our terrestrial plants and animal species are found in the tropics. And you'll notice from our name, we are the Tropical Biology Association. We also know that many of this amazing rich diversity is under threat. And so one of our sort of aims and missions really is to have more conservationists out there conserving this precious biodiversity. And so we're filling gaps in training. So we're providing training that people often just don't have access to, or that perhaps our traditional universities aren't providing, and also giving people practical skills, the skills that today's conservationists really need. And this sums up our approach. So we run field courses, and our field courses are very much designed to launch the careers of these conservationists that we would like to see out there. So they're designed for early career, aspiring conservationists to help them get out into conservation. And then we run tailor-made training courses. And I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that, like everybody in the world, we're now doing online courses as well as face-to-face. And underpinning both of these approaches is our collaborative approach. So all of our training is done in collaboration. So we collaborate with people from different organizations and different disciplines. And I'm going to now talk about our field courses. So our African field courses are being run in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Madagascar. So I thought I'd take us to Madagascar this evening. This is our little lecture room that we actually built in Madagascar. So we support field stations. And as you can see, it's fully air conditioned. And you'll notice that we've left a butterfly net in it, just in case the lectures are really boring. People can go out and catch butterflies instead. And one of the unique things about these field courses we run is that half of the students come from Africa or Southeast Asia, if we're running the courses there. So half of them from across the African continent, and then the other half of the students from elsewhere. And this means we have around 20 to 24 countries on each course. So we really are a mini UN. And I think this is so important, especially well, for people at any stage, but especially early career students, where they're meeting peers on an equal basis. They're meeting future collaborators, but importantly, they're all on the same grounding. They're all meeting on an equal basis. No one has more expertise than anyone else. And I'm sure you'd all agree that the best way to learn about anything is to experience it for yourself. So we take the students into a forest, if we're in a forest or the savannah, for a whole month. So these courses are a month long, and they're very much around learning what the reality is of tropical ecology and conservation. And I'm sure you'd also all agree that the first time you actually see something after you've read about it, it doesn't seem anything like the textbook you've read. It's way more complicated. So this is a chance to learn about real life ecology and conservation. And the students carry out their own research projects. And often this is the first time that they've designed the research project themselves, and we can supervise and help, but it's very much their project. And of course, it's also a great chance to collaborate. And we have very few rules in the Tropical Biology Association, but one of our rules is that you can't collaborate with somebody from the same country. So this is a great chance for people to work together from different countries and also find out something new. Many of our students have actually gone on to do their master's research based on what they did on our course. These research projects are actually written up and presented during the course itself. So people learn the whole part of research, from thinking of the project, carrying it out, and analysing the data, sweating over the statistics, and then presenting it. And we've actually had 65 papers published from student projects. So for most of the students, this is their first ever publication, and it's a great kind of start on their career as a published scientist. And of course, this is a great chance to learn about real world conservation as well. So wherever we run our courses, we visit local conservation projects. And this is where people can find out about how they've made their conservation projects succeed, and what are the challenges and how they've managed to overcome those challenges, and just the reality of conservation on the ground. And as I said, our training is very much around being practical and being really based in the reality and really the challenges of conservation and research, because that's what we want our future conservation leaders to have those skills. One of the amazing things about the courses, which I feel incredibly privileged about, is that we have experts from around the world who come and teach. And so we've had people from literally all over the world, from all different expertise, different disciplines, to come and teach on the courses. And just as we do for our students, we have half the teachers will be from Africa, if it's an African course, and half from outside. So there's really working going on, not just at the student level, but at the teacher level as well. It also means that no two courses are ever the same. We have different teachers each time, or a different combination of teachers. And it's something that I think makes the courses really special. So I have to ask, have we succeeded? Did we launch careers, and did people get more than their t-shirts that you can see them all wearing here? We measure impact in lots of different ways, and I won't spend much time on it because I really want to give us enough time to hear about our citizen science training. But I mean, just an immediate measure is we now have 2,500 alumni from 74 countries, and 98% of those work in an ecology or conservation related field. And I think our contact rate at the moment is around 94%. So we really do know where our students have gone and what they've done afterwards. This is a quote from one of our students, now a researcher in Ghana, Caleb, and he said that the field course changed his life. It inspired him to pursue this future in research and conservation. And that's really what our courses are all about. And this is Caleb here. He's done an amazing work. He's essentially, he and his colleagues, some of which are also alumni, TBA alumni, have essentially saved the Togo slippery frog from extinction. So what they've done is they've managed to set up a protected area. So it's now officially gazetted by the Ghanaian government. It's a small forest, and it's protecting this wonderful frog, as well as 11 other threatened species. And of course, the forest is important not just for the frogs, but for the communities to get clean water. So he's working with local communities to manage this forest reserve. It's just a wonderful story. And we also now have 15 alumni groups throughout Africa. So these were formed by TBA alumni themselves after their courses. They wanted to sort of give something back. They wanted to do training themselves. And so they set up their own groups. And so we now have these groups throughout Africa here. But I really wanted to now finish on a note about our tailor-made training. And this is what Kuria is going to be talking about. So as I said, this is the second kind of course we do, and we're now doing it online. And these are really designed around perhaps people who are later on in their career stage compared with our TBA courses. And they're tailor-made because they're designed around the skills and the areas that people tell us that this would really help them with their work or to develop their career further. These are some skills they'd like to learn. And you won't be surprised to know that one of those skills that people were telling us they'd really like to learn more of was around citizen science. And so that's what I'd like to do now, is to flip over to Kuria's talk and show you what we've been doing training around citizen science.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Kuria, and I head the Tropical Biology Association African office based in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm very glad to be speaking to you during this Citizen Science Hour today. Citizen science is a fast-growing field of interest among conservation scientists globally. And in Africa, there's a huge potential to harness citizen science potential across the continent. And in this talk, I'll be sharing our contribution in accelerating citizen science capacity in Africa. The Tropical Biology Association hosted a pioneering symposium in 2016 in Nairobi that brought together conservation scientists from 5 African countries and 32 institutions to share ideas, experiences, and opportunities on how to unlock citizen science potential in the continent. And this is where TBA investment in citizen science training started in earnest. And since then, we have invested in training, creating a lot of impact through citizen science actions in the continent and through citizen science projects that have happened in different parts of Africa. In these presentations, I want to share the impact we are having through our citizen science for conservation in Africa, or if you like it, CISCA program. CISCA was an innovative collaboration that we designed to plug a demand in citizen science to deliver impact for conservation and to connect people to nature. And this was a collaboration that involved partners from Europe and Africa, and I'm gladly see there are partners here who are working on Kenya Bird Map, and Professor Lisa Underhill also contributed to the citizen science program. Over 200 people applied to attend the citizen science or participate in the citizen science program when we started in 2018. We build skills in how to design robust citizen science projects and how to engage communities effectively as citizen scientists so that they can collect meaningful data. We also build skills on how to analyze and interpret citizen science data and to communicate results more impactfully, and so as to inform policy and practice. The training combined classwork and fieldwork, where the trainees could be able to apply their new skills immediately and gain hands-on experience on how citizen science happens or works in reality in the field, and also to learn on issues they need to think about in their own projects. For example, we use bird mapping so that the trainees could interrogate and understand biases that come with citizen science protocols. And what impact did we have? We were able to train at least 26 African citizen scientist managers from 9 countries in the continent. And this team is now collecting relevant data that they can use to guide conservation decisions and policies in their own countries. And these managers are now part of a new network of citizen science managers in the continent, and who are continuing to share experiences and inspire new ideas and projects in citizen science. The managers have also remained in touch with each other through a WhatsApp group that they created in 2018. And these managers are actually leading key citizen science projects in their countries and are having an impact on species, habitat, and ecosystem. And as you can see here, we have managers who are working on mushrooms, dragonflies. Others are trying to generate distribution maps for threatened species. And we also have individuals who are leading projects looking at migration of birds. And these managers, through their own work, are actually having an impact on biodiversity conservation. And 1 year since the last program in 2019, and despite the challenges with COVID, the managers are helping protect threatened sea turtles and also influencing national laws to conserve endangered species within their own countries, and also using the data they generate to inform policies and biodiversity conservation and use in their own countries. And we know this because the managers have been sending us a lot of feedback on what they are doing, and they have very much remained in touch with the Tropical Biology Association. And that was one of our very good contribution that I can say is a case study on how citizen science can work and how we can have an impact through citizen science in the continent. And what next for the Tropical Biology Association? We know that CISCA will continue having an impact for many, many more years. And what we plan to do is to keep the group inspired so that they can continue applying the skills and scaling up whatever they are working on into many other different countries, and also focusing on different taxa. We are also planning to deliver new trainings to meet the demand that we know does exist out there. And we've been receiving a lot of feedback on the demand that exists in training around citizen science. And even for example, only from CISCA alone, we managed to train only about 10% of those who applied for the CISCA program. So there's a huge demand here. But we are also looking to collaborate with like-minded institutions and individuals so that we can be able to further the work we've already started, building on the experiences that we've gained from what we've delivered so far. Thank you, and I wish you all the best in the discussion this evening. Thank you very much.
We're now planning more training, because the CISCA training that we did was very, very specific, actually. It was very much around people who already had projects, and they were particularly interested in how to analyze their data. So a lot of their citizen scientists were collecting data, but people wanted skills in how to analyze it themselves, how to make those maps and present them. And often those people just don't get a chance to do that. So it was very specific training. But as you saw from Kuria's graph, we had over 200 applicants, and there are many more out there, actually. So we're now designing new training courses which will be at all levels of citizen scientists.
Fascinating, and wow, wonderful to see the work that you're forging ahead with, and also wonderful to see that it's very definitely taken root in so many parts of Africa, and that people are running with these projects. And yeah, it's heartwarming to hear about this as part of the citizen science community. Wonderful information that you've provided to us, Rosie. Thank you very, very much. And Kuria, please extend our thanks and congratulations to him as well for his part of the presentation. And we look forward to seeing the ongoing fruits of all the hard work and the effort that's going into this. I'm not sure whether there are any other comments that anybody would like to make.
Yes, I want to say, Rosie, if we can, through this medium, help in any way, we're kind of at your service. So that if we can actually use this as collaboratively, that would be absolutely amazing. So yeah, it really is a remarkable work that Tropical Biology Association is doing. So I've had 2 PhD students who've just waxed lyrical about their TBA course experience, and they say exactly what that student said. This was the most important, formative thing in my career so far. So I'm a great supporter of the Tropical Biology Association. Thanks, Rosie. You do an amazing work, you, Kuria, and your team. Kevin is here.
we've got a great team, and yeah, even Kevin is here, but he's hiding. And
Yes.
Tasso is now a member of our team, and I should say that some of those fantastic icons on the slides were designed by Tasso. So Tasso is also now part of the TBA team. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, and now keep up the outstanding work.